decorations. It's so pretty now. It's so, so pretty. I love it so much, but I wish it would never go. I love that pixel poro so damn much, but we'll have to wait and see. RNG versus Victory 5, Game 1. I was expecting a crowd noise.
Yes, I was too.
Day 1, I'm baited.
We were definitely waiting for it. It looks like Kiana will still be heading towards the mid lane, but just as I say this, the solo laners actually swap.
I think right now, you can see it with RNG, they want to put the Kiana into the Mordekaiser. Like you said there in the pregame, Kiana not necessarily going to have the best of times versus this Mordekaiser right now. So they want to get that matchup, get the Mordekaiser, that's 1-2 item spike where he's able to just pick the Kalista and blow her up. So you have a quick look at the ruins. Actually, Predator Gragas coming in now as a kind of a standard nowadays. You know, used to see the Aftershock, but pretty standard apart from that overall across the board.
Yeah, taking a look at most of the runes, standard stuff. Only the Kalista bringing the Hella Blade, so just more laning power as we expect from the draft from V5. It does look like they're going to go heavy skirmishing and just try to win out on the early and mid game.
And what's the win condition right now for V5? We've talked a lot about RNG. They're the easy topic as such because we've seen them for so many years. We know them for so long. What's their win condition on the side of Victory 5? What they need to do to come out of here with a win? Excuse me.
I think if you have the Kiana, you always want to try and snowball that lane, especially against the Mordekaiser that a lot of times will auto-push the lane. It is a good idea to just try to make sure that Longxin can't get to a fed point, can't really try and duel anyone with the Death's Realm. So snowballing that point for me is going to be the main idea behind this composition. And then you just want to look for skirmishes. They can do so very easily with the face call all across the map. And just make sure that RNG never get a outscale type of win with the Ezreal. So I think it fits right up V5's alley. This is exactly what we've seen. But a lot of it does ride on Ben 4 and how much he can actually get out of the early Predator ganks.
Pretty standard overall. Ezreal Galio not going to have the best of times against the Kalista Alistar. And Dematerializer as well going to be for the Alistar, so that for Max going to be able to push that in. They're basically just saying we want priority over this first Mountain Dragon when it spawns.
I'm actually quite surprised by, wow, how well the top lane has been doing for Xiaohu. Now, he is a mid laner by birth, but he has been killing it in terms of the first level 1 trade. He got his Conqueror, pressed the attack early, probably did surprise Windy just a bit, and has a massive CS lead. And if you look at the wave's actually pushing back towards him. So this CS lead is even bigger than the wave would make you assume. So he actually still has an extra 4 minions there.
Here we go, Ben 4 going to come into this mid lane, flash, body slam, ignite, barrel, first blood, Victory 5.
And that's a win condition we were talking about. Not often do you see Mordekaiser going mid lane. Ooh, can Windy dodge this?
You said this, the Sejuani will be focusing on that top side. Windy going to get stunned up there pretty heavily. No real place for him to go. Going to try to get to the wall. Flashes over. Nicely done. And he survives to fight another day.
Wow, that's a wall that you see pro players fail constantly at. But Windy's got that on lockdown. And V5 up to a good start here. However, Ben 4 is standing on a ward. I want to see how much
he'll know in about 2
seconds
seconds once it dies. Yeah, now he knows. Yeah, he's just going to do a little dance now and get himself back to lane. But overall, V5, pretty decent start to the game. Ben 4 focusing in on that mid lane, wants to get Kiana rolling, make sure that Mordekaiser does not get that super strong save. But it's just good combos.
Yeah, and this is good timing for Ben 4 as well. You rarely see these level 4 ganks come out from Gragas. Most of the time, the pathing is you just clear your top side, then you go for your Predators. So Longxin was probably a little bit caught off, thought he still had a bit more time on the actual gank happening. But from that angle, didn't really see it. And Kiana is a champion that is so easy to gank for. You get that, you get the river element, and you get the stun onto your Q, the Blade of Ixtal. So very easy follow-up, EQ into the stun, nothing that Longxin could do, and he even saves his flash for it.
Just felt so bad for Windy there as he just saw this giant wave crash into the side of Xiaohu, and he's like, oh, I can't do anything. I need to just leave this, but Mo needs to be a bit careful. Not going to be able to get too much work done here from the Mordekaiser, but still getting pressure, still getting presence. And Karsa, he's going to try and sneak himself around in, but I do believe he was spotted on that ward.
Yep, definitely was. You could see the pings going down for V5. Now, what V5 have to do outside of just ganking Longxing repeatedly, they do need to throw top lane a bone at some point. This CS lead is getting a little ridiculous.
A little bit, as we see the Gragas. Ben 4 just hovering mid lane, does not want his mid laner to get, or his solo Kiana mid lane to get taken down. Flawless Duet gonna miss. I agree with you, Windy. He's just straight up not having a good time.
And we have seen this from V5 at points. It's just whoever they send top laner, since both of their solo laners are technically labeled as mid laners, whoever they send top laner, they do seem a little bit unfamiliar with the lane at times, and
Does
they
feel a little bit alien. It's like,
yes.
It's like when you get auto-filled and you're like a bot laner or something like that, and it's like top, and it's like, what do I do? I haven't got a second person here to help me.
So that could be a drawback of running the pure solo lane strategy, but very well done by RNG's side. They had an early shove by Xiao, followed up by an early gank into a freeze, and there's no way that Windy can actually leave the lane at this point. Full river control coming down from RNG, so they can play very safely, just have their mid laner just shift towards the bottom side of the map, and as long as they have that side warded up, which you can see Karsa already has right now, then they're actually relatively safe with this Mordekaiser in lane.
And Victory 5, a little bit slower pace than what we're used to seeing from them. They, normally have these crazy, crazy high kill games on both the deaths and the kills. And right now, they're kind of just slowly taking their time, getting small little bits of CS. Like they have usually 15.1 kills per game, but also equal to that, they usually get 15.7 deaths a game. And Xiao, just jumping around, does drop the ultimate. See if he can do anything from this. World Ender has been popped. It looks like Windy's in a lot of trouble, though. Isn't able to heal up anything. Flash from Xiao, but good response from Victory 5, losing topside. They gain themselves a Mountain Drake eventually after it resets.
Really great play by Xiao, who dodges out on multiple parts of the queue, and that was just a situation where Windy did not realize that he was going to die. Like, he didn't have the damage calculations down, was in the middle of the lane when that trade really happened. So, that lane difference, the length of the lane, changing from mid to top, probably threw him off his calculations there, and Xiao taking a very good punish.
Xiao already starting to really make this top lane just not a good time for anybody on the side of Victory 5 as I have a look now. And he just, literally, as you said, he just dances around using the minions.
Yeah, that was 2 parts of the queue dodged out by Windy, and Windy looked for the initiation himself. He was level 7. He thought he had the lead in this one. That was not the case. Xiao had an extra flash and a great start to the fight. Gets the full stacks of Ionian Fervor, and with Press the Attack, that's 12% extra damage that he's doing every single hit. So really well done by Xiao there. Just completely outplays Windy.
Windy needs to be very careful. 1 death you can forgive. 2, and you're in a lot of trouble. There's the Arctic Assault into the Flawless Duet, and that is going to be Xiao with a 2-0 kill lead. And they've got pure priority on this top side.
I think I know the blueprint for RNG. We will snowball Xiao, but never Longxing. So we'll just put him into the lane where
it's not that we can't go top. It's that we decide not to go top.
So this is a very interesting strategy build. It's pulling so much pressure top now. And I don't think that the gank mid lane actually affected the lane situation enough for it to snowball. You can see Longxing is still having a great time pushing this wave, and Kiana's actually one of her main weaknesses that she's quite easy to punish when she's picking up CS. That Q comes up every 7 seconds, and it does cost you a bit of mana early on as well. So Mo hasn't really found any time to roam with his early kill lead, and RNG has been doing a great job at warding up these river spots.
Yeah, as we talked about throughout the entire kind of early game as such, just been constant river control. As V5 now, we're going to see Max just rolling up, see if he can find something. It's going to be very, very difficult, especially when you have that death round from the Mordekaiser. As Gragas is here. Karsa gonna get jumped on, get knocked back. There's the ultimate as well. Explosive Cast use Galio ultimate used in return, as well as Karsa's flash. Good initiative from the side of Victory 5, punishing a little bit of a greediness for the ward there.
It was a good play by V5. They're proactively swapping just so that their top lane can get some breathing room. It's no longer working for Windy in the top side, so they're swapping for him, and they're going to try and pick up Herald and possibly a kill in the meantime. However, RNG definitely spots it.
That's the Ezreal coming in, so Uzi's here. There's a flash. Goes to use a Fake Call as well, but the Glacial Prison has been used. Now they jump onto the Mordekaiser, who has to use the Death Realm. He's on so little health, but he's got that shield to keep him alive. It's going to be the Alistar to drop first, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of RNG. Xiaohu picking up those kills, and that's going to be a one fight for RNG. Great decisiveness from the side of RNG.
And that was such a cool interaction coming in from the Sejuani. He actually, Karsa actually stuns him with the Glacial Prison, and he gets knocked back. The Q doesn't even come out from the Alistar.
Uh-oh. It's not over. TP is coming in. That's going to be Windy off on the backside of this. They know there's a little bit of vision on him. Now they know what it is. They do not want to lift up this Rift Herald for a little bit longer. There's the ultimates from both Xiaohu and Windy as they try to just jump onto the backside, but Ming gets a great stopwatch on here. And Xiaohu is just cutting through this backline. Windy has nowhere to go, and it's all gone terribly wrong for V5. RNG gifted 2 more kills.
Very V5 style, re-engage, but Aurelia's just too big at the moment. Goes straight onto Y4 who expended his flash earlier on. Oh, but bye-bye, Longxing.
He flew too close to the sun. That's all.
Yeah, just a little bit, Could have waited a while to pick up that wave, but good return kill from V5. Still huge win coming in from RNG, though. Really good split on that fight. 3-man stayed in the back, made sure that Aatrox didn't get the takedown, and then they get the back line of V5. So across the board, you see good CS leads forming up, and that's a 5-0 Aurelia. Oh my god,
soon to be
does not want to see
6-0 Aurelia. There are TPs all over the map right now. Is Y4, he's just trying his best, and whoa, swing and a miss, but it was only used to zone out as Xiaohu picks up his 6th kill of the game. And Xiaohu, we talked about this. He's really stepping up for RNG recently. And let's have a look at this Rift Herald fight, because it looks like it could be okay.
Yeah, really interesting interactions earlier on coming in, and what happens is V5 doesn't actually get the initiation onto Karsa. Karsa walks out, comes back again, and even though Mole does find the kill through the Death Realm, once he pops out of it, there's 4 people right next to him. So a little bit unfortunate right there. A really good reaction by Karsa to avoid the initiation from V5.
We're back on to the Rift Herald, and this time V5 going to take this one out without any troubles, as every single TP was used, but they do give up that second mountain. We're going to have a 3rd one spawning as well, so both sides will want to go for that, but V5, they want gold, and they want gold now.
And so trying to trade back one of those towers. Sorry, I saw things wrong. I finally understood what happened on that Karsa initiation. He actually used the Glacial Prison on Y4 when he was already Fate calling Max, so that's why the initiation didn't actually work out as intended. Very interesting right there. I didn't expect the Alistar to then just pop up right next to the Callista after that.
And already a 4,500 gold lead for RNG. Doesn't feel like it if you look at everything else bar the gold, but the CS lead, the pure power that they have on this Aurelia right now is just insane, and you've got to try, like, you know, if you're Victory 5, you did what you needed to do, sort of. You took down the Mordekaiser. 0-3 hasn't really taken off. Uzi not doing a huge amount in terms of, like, you know, advantages, but Xiaohu's just too big. Whew.
Xiao is just insane, and he's playing in the top lane, a lane that he does not usually go to. Coming in with the press the attack as well. I felt like this was great. Counter cheese on top of counter cheese. Like, RNG read V5, read their lane assignments, and just was more prepared in the lane for it. This is something that V5, I feel like, actually constantly faces when they're swapping around Mole and Windy, is that neither one of them is really an excellent top laner on their own. Like, they are not that used to the lane. A lot of times it does happen where they have to dig themselves out of holes coming from the top side. They need to find those roams and initiations, and someone has found Mole.
Oh, that's a nice little knockback and stun using the supreme display of talent, but talent will only get you so far in this world, Mole. As he's going to be chased down by Karsa and Xiaohu. Try and just get away, but the amount of single target CC they have with that combination of the Aurelia Sejuani is just too much.
I really want to see how many kills Xiaohu's going to get before they shut him down.
Oh my god, look at the amount of gold he got purely from plates.
It's almost a free Tiamat there.
Literally, like, you got half an item just purely for having dominant laning phase.
This is getting from bad to worse, and I like how V5 are dealing with this situation. They realize that as the game goes on, it's not going to get better for them, so they're grouping up and forcing RNG into an initiation. Very risky move, but one of their only chances to actually use a fight and out-mechanic RNG to hopefully get back.
Out-mechanic RNG is something you never want to have to say as like your one win condition. It's just like, all right, we don't win late, so we have to just be better than them. Damn it. It's not a fun time for anybody, except for RNG. They love it.
The V5 are audacious, and it's what made them so successful this split. Remember, they did have a win against Invictus Gaming, where they just constantly dueled them until IG was actually outpaced out of the game. So they're back to their game plan. This is exactly who V5 are. Yes, they do die more than they get kills, but you also have to think about them as a 500 team standing in the middle of the pack. So it has been working for them.
But the question kind of comes for V5 right now is, who do you even look for? Who do you even try and take down? Like, the Aurelia has got the Sterex, you know, if you look at the Sejuani, super tanky. Mordekaiser can just ult and keep her away. As I say that, they're going straight in onto the Sejuani, but here comes the rest of RNG. There is the grand entrance from the Galio as well. Windy trying to just flash away. They're trying to jump back on top of this. There's Qiyana as well. They're able to get a lot of damage onto Ming. He's forced to flash away. Alistar goes back in on top of this. Max, though, that's not where you want to be. He flashes away. They're going to try and get flash in. There it is. There is the ult. Not quite able to hit him up there. They end up trading 2 for 1. As Qiyana just overstepped her mark, but here comes Mordekaiser. Gonna jump in on top of this as he sees he tries to get something. There's a Death Realm. Ben 4 has nowhere to go. They're just saying, buddy, we can find you, we swear. Turret still hitting onto Langji, and he will eventually go down. So it ends up being a 3 for 2 trade overall, but priority in mid goes over to RNG.
RNG knew exactly their win condition. They were taking a 4v5 in that brush, so all they needed to do was delay V5 as far as possible, and look at what Longxing did. He actually fully bounced the top wave before coming in and getting another kill. So big win for RNG. V5 continued to try, but just like you were saying, there really aren't any good targets to focus down at this point. Karsa is so tanky. Look at him taking the entire initiation and then still staying above full health. When Qiyana comes in, no one's actually standing close enough for around the terrain for her to find a kill. And then RNG realized that Karsa trading kills here is actually a good thing because they deny a lot of minions in the top side while doing it.
Bad guy Ben 4 not blocking that Mystic shot to keep Qiyana alive was a little sad, man, but actually, we're going to have to look at the live there in the middle corner. We're going to leave the sleep right there because the TP has already been used as everyone seems to be setting up. Both teams want this double Mountain Drake as we go in there. Engage comes in. It's going to be support. But why would you knock Ming into your team? Why would you do that? The Fate's call is literally just to buy time as of this moment, but a massive misstep from Victory 5 gifts RNG a team fight.
I think he needs to apologize to Mole at this point.
He needs to apologize to us.
he didn't use the flash. He never expected Mad Max to be there just punting the taunt, the AoE straight onto their backline. Very unfortunate for V5, and the thing was that they were standing on a ward when they want to go for that engage. So when the Alistar went over the wall, he was the one that actually got popped up. It wasn't the Galio that was surprised.
And even then, like, it's just, I want to see that replay because I just want to know what goes through your mind as the Alistar and just be all like, yeah, oh, actually, we're going to have to pause that for a second. Xiaohu getting chased down a little bit. Flawless Duet Part 1. Flawless Duet Part 2 lands. They're trying to catch up on top of him. They will be able to knock him a little bit down, but the side of V5 are having a lot of trouble trying to take down this guy. They will potentially have to get it. White4 can't even go near him. He's so afraid. Now he goes in. It ends up being a shutdown over to Windy, probably the one who needed the gold the most. But that was a lot of resources. Had RNG not reset, we would have been able to get a little bit more. But this is just slow motion, please.
Oh, God. This is so sad. He gets the double AoE taunt and then the CC chain into Longxing's Death Grasp. I just feel bad for Mole and Ben4 in that one. Not much you could do. Mad Max does pay for it with his life there as well. And after that, at least they get the 5v1 kill against Xiaohu. That was the sole respite that V5 had after that one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But we're coming up to 21 minutes in this game, mid to late. I have no idea what any of that says, and it's almost an 8,000, 8,500 gold lead now for RNG. They're really looking strong. I think Xiaohu literally has only died once in that last little bit of a play, and Baron is very much on the cards. And there's just not a lot of options for V5 right now. RNG can pick split push, team fight, Baron play. It's all open for them.
This is what happens when you have an early mid-game composition. You try for a lot of early skirmishes, but they all backfire horribly. I think V5,
to put it lightly.
Yes, V5 really got outplayed mechanically in a lot of these engagements, and also just outvisioned as well. RNG in the previous fight perfectly understood where Max was coming from. So V5, if they want to do something like this, they at least need to set up a blind spot. This is great from Ben4 that he's clearing out this ward, but look at the backside. There's so many other wards that RNG has along the way to have a early warning system, and now they're trying to cut off V5 from defending their inhibitor. Yeah,
I was going to say, is like RNG have the inside track. You can't go anywhere. They're going to lose an inhibitor turret off of that back of kind of the decision to not decide what to do. Indecision in itself is a decision, and that's just going to be RNG picking up more free gold and more free pressure and more free objectives. And you can see them pinging out now around that dragon, or that Baron, I should say. They're going to push in mid and then just look to clear the vision.
And this is setting up to be a very straightforward Baron play for RNG. Double Mountain already. We're past the 20-minute mark. And once they clear this side of the jungle, I don't see why not. They shouldn't just start for it. This is... They're very far ahead, and I think Mordekaiser, we've seen this multiple times now. Mordekaiser over the wall, he can just pull your jungler into the death realm, and that's 7 seconds where he can't smite. So very easy to secure if you do that. We've actually seen RNG purposefully set up for this play and just use the Mordekaiser as a hold-off.
Uh-oh.
But Uzi?
Uh-oh. Y4 has nowhere to go. They will get a good ultimate there from the Qiyana, but there's just not enough damage. And Xiaohu, 8-1 and 6, is going to tear through Victory 5. That's going to... Victory 5 feels like a long way away. They're 4-4 right now. They're still waiting on that 5th victory, but RNG, this is looking primo RNG, prime RNG. The RNG we're used to calling the kings of China, because these guys are just looking so good.
I guess the death realm wasn't necessary at all. Xiaohu just comes in from a flank, great control ward positioning, knows that he isn't spotted, and also I thought Qiyana had a good sense of where Uzi was, but Uzi also had a good sense of where Mole was. That ward over the Raptor pit completely dooming Qiyana from getting an initiation, getting the drop onto Uzi. And once again, RNG just have better vision. V5 need to be more diligent in sweeping this out. Look at this Raptor ward. Qiyana's scanner just ends there. So Uzi actually dips out of vision. They find the kill onto Y4, and when he comes in, there's multiple members waiting for him. Mole gets tagged up by the Galio, followed up on, and there's just no hope for V5.
It's getting a bit sad, all right, as the rest of his team just kind of look on and kind of go, what can we do right now? And I want to bring back a little bit of a point as well. We saw Y4 versus Uzi would be kind of like the match to look at right now, and Uzi proving why he was the #1 AD carry when they played on the same team. 5-0-6, a full item and a half ahead of the Callista. And it's just looking from bad to worse right now. They're going to be able to put in so much damage onto the two tankiest members of the side of Victory 5. And it's just a matter of time, I feel, until RNG take this game.
It should be this way. Mole has to do some miraculous team fighting to get them out of this situation.
Uzi wants him. Uzi wanted that blood so badly. He was like, come here. Don't you dare try and disrespect me. I am the AD carry, but... Oh, that kind of sums up this game from Victory 5. Realistically, just a little on top of the thing there. It puts him into the death realm. That's going to be another kill. 21-6. Just every objective you can imagine, and everything goes over to RNG as they pick up game 1 of this best.